Hello, I'm Jonah Schwartz.
And I'm Shane Woolley, and we're both members of Tufts TV News.
And we're here today to sort of interview President Anthony Monaco about his role in the administration and the different policies that Tufts is implementing to face problems on campus.
Yes, so we're here in Baloo. We're here in Baloo today with Anthony Monaco to further the conversation between the student body and the administration and to open that dialogue even more than it already is.
Yeah, so President Monaco, or can we call you Tony?
Tony's fine.
Okay, let's get to it.
We're going to ask some rapid fire questions to start off with.
Okay.
So, 1, cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Do you know the Hotline Bling?
Yes, by Drake.
Nice. Favorite movie?
Good Will Hunting.
Nice. What fruit are you?
Strawberry.
Strawberry.
Can I say why?
Why?
Yes.
They taste good, they're nutritious, and as a geneticist, they are packed with incredible amounts of DNA.
Good to know for DeWick and Carm.
Yes.
Speaking of DeWick and Carm, DeWick or Carm?
DeWick has the better pizza, Carm has the better salad bar.
Diplomatic answer. Yeah, good.
I eat in both.
Nice. Okay. Do you eat in Hodgdon, and do you know Ida?
I don't know Ida. I've only heard of her by reputation, and I haven't yet met her, so I have to do that on my bucket list.
She is a fantastic, wonderful lady. 1-ply or 2-ply?
Well, that's a complex question. I prefer 1-ply. My wife 2-ply, so we go with 2-ply.
Nice.
Do they make 1.5-ply?
Probably.
Yeah.
Capitalism. If you could be a tree, what tree would you be?
Beach.
Beach.
I think it's cool that they keep their leaves through the winter.
That is true. And as a geneticist, it must be interesting as well.
Yeah.
Originals or prequels?
Prequels.
Do you sleep in a suit?
I sleep in something comfortable, somewhere between a business suit and my birthday suit.
Smart. And do you actually live in Gifford?
Yes, I do. It's in my contract that I must reside in the president's residence.
Nice. Oh, how is it?
Very nice. I don't use the whole space, obviously, mostly bedroom and kitchen, but the rest of it is used for university functions.
So, what control do you have over policy at Tufts?
So the Academic Council, which is made up of the deans and all the vice presidents of the various administrative units, we control and approve university-wide policies. So if there's going to be a big change in a policy that is going to affect all faculty, students, or staff across the university, that comes to the Academic Council and we must approve that. Most of the time, myself and my senior team will preview those types of changes and agree where, before they come to Academic Council. But those are the types of things that we really have true responsibility for from an approval point of view. An example would be the changes to the sexual misconduct prevention and adjudication processes. That was done by a university-wide committee, and those changes have to be approved.
And is there anyone hierarchically over you, or is it?
Yes, everyone has a boss.
Okay.
So for me, it's the Board of Trustees, and in particular, the chairman of the board is who I report to.
Okay.
We speak, by email all the time, but formally we speak for like an hour once every 2 weeks, and I'll tell him what's going on. He gives me advice. He gives me guidance from his experience. Then the trustees meet 3 times a year where I have to give a president's report. We have subcommittees and things are approved by the trustees as well. So they are the governing body of what we call, myself and my senior team, are the management of the university.
So to sort of date this episode, yesterday was the protest by the We Are the Three group. So we just wanted to ask some questions about sort of race on the Tufts campus and what the Tufts administration is doing to sort of make Tufts a more inclusive space for minority students. How does Tufts create a safe space for minority students?
Well, I think what you have to first think about is what we've learned from our research on stereotype bias. We have professors in our psychology department and elsewhere who study implicit stereotype and race bias. We all have it. And I think what I've heard from the students is they feel that both inside the classroom and outside the classroom and other activities, they're experiencing what are called microaggressions, which make them feel uncomfortable, which make them feel discriminated against. And sometimes that extends from subtle things right up to overt racism. This is what I learned when I came to campus in 2011. That was really the impetus for me to do the Diversity Council. As you know, that report came out in 2013. A range of recommendations. One of those recommendations, at least, was to think about how faculty inside the class could create an inclusive environment in the classroom. And currently we have training programs going on where faculty can learn more about how to achieve that. Outside the classroom, the student services are thinking about a pluralism approach where you're really celebrating multicultural aspects of inclusivity on the campus. But there's much, much more that we need to do. And I think the important thing to emphasize, it shouldn't be the marginalized students who have the onus on them to educate other students or faculty. I mean, it's the administration should really be facilitating that, and a lot of the programming and recommendations that came out of the Diversity Council, which we're now trying to implement, are to achieve that. In terms of safe spaces, the group of 6, many students feel that those are safe spaces that they can go to where inherently there's going to be less stereotype bias because they're with students from their own racial group or cultural group. But we really need to think about an end goal where both the classroom and other activities, sports teams, drama, community engagement, everything that happens on this campus should be a safe and inclusive environment for all students at Tufts. And that's really the goal of a lot of the work we're trying to do.
Okay, so now we're going to sort of ask some more like jumbled up questions, but a lot of them are about the administration, your interactions with it. But also, we wanted to sort of get to know like how do the students and the administration sort of interact, and do students have a voice in the administration, and sort of what channels are there for that?
Sure. I mean, if you think about the governance structure, all the subcommittees of the trustees have a TCU Senate representative as well as a faculty representative, but those students get to go to those meetings, and they also make a presentation about an issue that's important to them at the February meeting. So that's one way. The second is most of the university-wide task force or committees that I've set up, we've always had student representation, whether that's the Sexual Misconduct Prevention, the Diversity Council, the Sustainability Council, anything that is certainly my senior team and I have started, we always have student representation. And we also, not only the few students who are on those committees, many of those processes had forums or outreach where we got, for example, in the Diversity Council, we got all the graduating seniors that wanted to come to a lunch and talk to us about their experiences around diversity and inclusion on this campus. We were able to do so. We took notes, we had breakout groups and got reports back. So that information fed into the proceedings of the Diversity Council. So it's not only membership, it's also having open forums where we can get feedback from students.
Looking forward a little bit, where do you see Tufts in 10 years?
So I think over the next 10 years, we're going to see two things. One, we're going to have better facilities for people to do their scholarship and research, both at the teaching level and at the independent research level. And I'm also pushing very hard the concept of one Tufts, one university. Think about the big global challenges which we face in the environment, in areas of conflict, in health and disease. We have expertise at the different schools which we really can harness by cross-school collaboration and facilities which enhance that so that we can have a bigger impact as a university. So where do I see Tufts in 10 years? Great students, great faculty, but really working together as one university to think about how we can have impact on some of the big global challenges.
So we're both freshmen, and it's coming upon sort of the time when people start submitting their regular decision Common Apps. And you know, I face back to the time when I was writing my Common App, and a question I really struggled with, and maybe you can answer, is, if you can, in 100 words, why Tufts?
Well, I spent 23 years abroad, so for me it was important to be at a university that had a truly international perspective, had a commitment to teaching and research, but also I was enamored by Tufts' unique constellation of schools. Not only the liberal arts college, but a great research university.
Wow, succinct.
Probably more eloquent than what I wrote.
I'm also in my 5th year, so
yeah. Okay.
Easier to answer in retrospect. Right?
Yeah,
For sure. Very, very, I think you'd get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it might be a little hard.
Yeah.
I heard it's competitive.
Yeah.
And then for like kind of a wrap-up question, again, this is going to be a little outdated when we publish, but how do you choose your Halloween costumes?
Very carefully.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mostly I go in like everyone else does, you know, to a big shop. I went to Party City and Meadowglen Mall. They have a wall of choices, and it's a combination of which one I find interesting and what do they have in stock that I'm trying to get at the last minute, which I did this time. Gumby was luckily a great choice, and they had it in stock.
Gumby was great. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much
You're welcome.
for taking your time out of your day.
Thank you for the tea.
Yeah, thank you.
And the special mugs.
Yeah, of course. Tea with Tony. President Anthony Monaco.
Thank you.
Thank you.